Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be testing out this miniature tiny foundation. Obviously this is just a sample, but this is the Guerlain lingerie de peau, which I literally am guessing how that is said. Who knows, I hope it's right. But this is the lingerie de peau Natural Perfection by Guerlain. I feel really weird holding this tiny little pot, so let's just put it back over there. So we're going to be testing that out. This foundation, I mean, I feel like it doesn't get talked a lot about on YouTube. I hardly ever see anybody using it in videos, but if you look online, it has incredible reviews, like on Sephora and just around general beauty sites where it's sold. It has amazing reviews, so I don't know why people don't use it that much on YouTube, or you don't see people talking about it in their favourites, things like that. But I was curious and I've wanted to try this for a long time. When I read about it, it seems like it has all the things that I want in a foundation. So it says it's medium to full coverage. It says it is a natural finish, which I like. It's not matte. It has SPF 20 in it, which makes me nervous because of the white cast. However, I am kind of looking for a daytime foundation, like a holy grail, day-to-day daytime foundation at the moment. So that's not a deal breaker for me if there is a slight white cast. So it only has 14 shades, which seems very, very few, Guerlain. Very, very few. However, having said that, within the range of shades, it is very easy to navigate and to find your shade. So if you're ordering online, that shouldn't be a problem, because it's very simple. It does the fair, light, medium, deep, very deep. I think that's how it goes. And then with each of those shades, it goes cool, warm and neutral. So you have a fair, warm, cool and neutral, a medium, warm, cool and neutral, and a deep, warm, cool and neutral. So it should be quite easy for you to guess your closest match. Okay, so as always, I'm going to go in with my Estee Lauder One Step Correct Skin Brightening Serum as my primer, using a small amount. And if you've seen any of my previous foundation reviews, you'll know that this is, like, for me, a really good primer to use when you actually want to see how a foundation performs, because it doesn't alter it, doesn't alter the luminosity, it doesn't alter the finish, it's not sort of super mattifying, it's not super glowy, it just gives you a good base, like a regular base for your foundation to go down, as opposed to actually it altering the way that the foundation performs, so we can actually see how it performs by itself. So here is my little sample. So I'm going to give it a good shake, just as I would with a foundation in a regular pot. And I'm just going to start off. It's quite liquidy. I don't know if you can see it sort of just coming out there. I'd sort of compare it to like the Decay One and Done, or the Naked Skin Weightless Foundation, or maybe even Max Face and Body. It's sort of more of a runny consistency. Feels really, really light on the skin. I really like this colour as well on me. When the girl from the counter was sort of putting it on my skin, and we were talking about shades and stuff, and I was like, probably this right now is like half a shade darker than my skin, maybe, but obviously summer is coming. I'm getting deeper by the day, so I think if I was to purchase this, it would be a good match for my skin, which at the moment is sort of its usual, like NC27, approaching an NC30. So it's not like, although this is a warm toned foundation colour, it's not like orange, it's not super yellow, it is like quite, it is natural. That's the shade, it's described as natural warm, and I do feel like it is a really natural shade. It's probably one of my favourite colour wise, and it just, like, when I look at my forehead with on, it's just like so, it's not like shiny or like, there's no sheen really, it's just, it glows, it really does glow, it just looks so healthy. I was like, literally, because whenever you put you know, if you have a foundation put on you in a shop, usually you're just sitting there and it's like, because it's the worst lighting, isn't it? And you go into one of those like beauty counters and like, it is so unflattering. You can see every pore, you can see every line, you can see every bit of texture, magnified to 100. The shades always look like really crazy and it's just not a good look. I don't know why they don't do something about it, but yeah, so she was putting this on my skin and I was just like, oh my god. And she did put on the meteorites, not the primer, but the like moisturising lotion, which it comes in like a frosted white bottle, and I was like so tempted if I get this to get that as well, because together they just looked stunning, like so glowy, so natural, so sort of like healthy, I guess, like just really glowy, really perfect for summer. So I'm just praying today, because this is close, like this will be the third time I've put this on my skin, including the time that it was put on for me in House of Fraser, and I'm just loving it. So that is kind of, I guess I'd say that was a sort of 2 quick layers, like I sort of built it up. You can still see my skin through it, I would say. My forehead is pretty perfect because I have less issues there. My cheeks, you can still see a tiny bit of redness, just about poking through, and again, just like under these lights, I think in natural light that would be less obvious, but it just is so smooth. There is no texture, it doesn't cling to anything. It just, everything looks sort of perfected. It literally looks like I haven't got foundation on. It just looks like all of my sort of unevenness, all of my texture, all of my lines, and a lot of my redness has just gone. But otherwise this is my skin, that's how I feel. It's a really good colour match. It's just so luminous and healthy. Even though that Estee Lauder primer is not a glowy primer, so I feel like, you know, if you use a glowing primer, something like the L'Oreal Lumi or something like the Becca Backlight priming filter, or the stuff that they used on me on Debenhams, the Meteorites lotion, would just give you even more of a real glow, and like they'd be really luminous now, but just now it just looks so healthy. I'm just loving it at the moment. I think because it is expensive, we'll see how it gets on today with like the wear test and the flash test and all that stuff. But then if I'm happy, I'll probably use up my sample. I've probably got one more wear in the sample. It wasn't the biggest sample, and she didn't even fill the pot. It's probably half full, so probably 3 or 4 wears, which is enough for me to sort of decide if I want to purchase or not. But if today goes well, and if I'm happy with everything, I'll probably give it one more try, and then I am like probably going to purchase it, despite the fact that I have 400 other foundations, because that's how much I'm loving it so far. So let's put the rest of my makeup on, and then we'll be right back to do my wear test. So that is the rest of my makeup on, and I've done a quick flash test, so here is that photo. Okay, so sadly there is a slight white cast. It's not as bad as I have seen. It's certainly no Estee Lauder double wear, but there is a slight white cast, and there's nothing else on my face that would be doing that, or that usually does that, so it's definitely the foundation, but it is not a disaster. It's definitely not a deal breaker for me. So now, let's see, it is 11 o'clock, so as usual I will give it about 8 hours and then come back and we'll see how the foundation wore throughout the day. Don't have a crazy day today, just my normal, going about my usual day. It's not mega hot outside, but it's quite warm, and yeah, and I'm going to be running around, so we'll see how I get on and see how the foundation holds up, and I'm fingers crossed it does good, because right now I am loving it. There is no sinking into my fine lines. I mean, even my smile lines, where I usually have real issues, it's really not bad at all. But everything else, like my forehead, the texture that I have around my chin, everything seems really, really minimalised, way smoother than it usually looks. And just overall, everything looks, I look really glowy, and I feel like obviously I've got hella contour on today because I've been doing a contour video, but otherwise, like my base looks so natural, looks like skin. You can see things like my beauty spots, my moles, whatever you want to call them, showing through, but there's no texture, there's no redness, there's no bad showing at all. So I have really, really high hopes. So unless it's gone from my face in 3 hours time, this could be my new love. So let's see how it gets on. I'll see you in 8 hours. Bye 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 bye. Oh hello, we are back. So how have we got on? We are now at about 8:30 at night, so I think that is like 9 hours, I believe, roughly, that this foundation has been on for. So let us take a look and see how we've got on. To be honest, I'm not really seeing a much difference. It hasn't fully stayed on the tip of my nose. It's probably the only place where there's much fading at all. So yeah, it's pretty much gone off the tip of my nose, which is like, if a foundation's going to go on me, that's where it goes first. And there's maybe a slight bit of fading on my chin, but other than that, it pretty much looks exactly the same as it did when it went on. I will also say that it has slightly gone into only one of my smile lines, which is odd. It's not in this side at all, but it is in this one. I didn't set the foundation today, I didn't set it with powder, which I do usually do. I don't know why I didn't today, maybe I just forgot, but it's nice to see how it does without being set anyway. So I guess if I had maybe set my foundation, it may not have sunk as badly, or if I maybe paid a bit more attention there, but that is something to be aware of. It's not terrible, it's not the worst I've seen of a foundation. It's not really a deal breaker for me, but I know it is for other people. I will just say that I've been sort of catching this foundation in mirrors all day today, like when I've been into the ladies' room and when I've just been going about my day and walked past a mirror, and I've just been literally noticing my skin all day today. I just think this foundation is beautiful. The finish is perfect for what I love. It is just luminous and healthy and glowy, but it just doesn't really look like anything. You can see all my beauty spots. I feel like, not necessarily to the extent that someone would believe this is skin, but pretty close, to be honest. It just looks like it could be nothing. It's beautiful. Pardon me. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm definitely going, unless something mental happens, when I use it again, just to use my sample up, I'm definitely going to purchase this, and I feel like this will be like my go-to every day if I want, you know, foundation more than a BB cream, more than a tinted moisturiser, but it's not, you know, a special or a particularly long wearing day, because I do feel like if you want, you know, if you're going to like a wedding where you need your foundation on point all day and all night, so it could be, you know, in excess of 12 hours that you need to be looking for lie, then I feel like that's when I would sort of lean towards like a matte full coverage finish foundation, because I feel like a more matte finish generally tends to be longer wearing. But other than that, this foundation, it's beautiful on the skin. I've had a lot of compliments today on my skin. I feel like it looks smooth. I can't even see any texture, any fine lines, which is normally what really bugs me about my skin, and it has really minimalised it. And I feel like by using a more luminous primer, I'm only going to get more luminosity out of the foundation. I could also, if I felt like I needed it, which I don't, I could use a smoothing primer in the centre of my face, and again, it would be like even smoother there. Like, I just feel like this foundation is beautiful on. Obviously it really works with my skin. It kind of counters all the issues that I have with my skin. I've not really read any issues that people are having online, other than I'm just not sure myself personally how this would go with really oily skin, because it is more on the luminous side. So I'd love to know what you guys think. If you have tried it, Loved it, heard of it, seen someone else using it. I did recently see Jeffree Star used it in one of his videos, and he literally is the first YouTuber I've seen use this foundation on YouTube, so I'd really recommend going and giving it a go if you're looking for something medium coverage with a luminous finish, really smoothing, looks like skin. Then I would definitely give this one a go because I love it and I'm definitely going to purchase it. So there you have my verdict. Hope to see you all guys all soon. Please like and subscribe if you like this video so that we can see each other again. Okay, bye for now. Ranges, it will have a light. No, that's not okay. Kind of every time.